Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, here back at Wright, Conflict Interest. So last time we basically all in one take just found out that oh my gosh, she actually was lying. She didn't actually kill Glass Porter. Oh my gosh, she lied and betrayed her own trust to her. Oh my gosh, how could she lie to us all this time? It definitely wasn't obvious. It definitely wasn't. Everything was much more complex. And now, we're gonna see about her connection with the killer. Also, as a pre-warning, sorry if there's anything, some sound you hear in the background, school going on and all that, even though I'm in my dorm room, moving in here, it's probably gonna be like this until, I literally move out for, I guess, a break or anything like that, or, I'll probably just be able to record for weekends, and if I had to do it in a day, it'll be way much more quieter, because some people are, people like their peace and quiet, and all that, just a forewarning. But let's see what her connection is to the killer. A month back, I saw Shelley the killer burying a man. Yeah, it definitely am, most likely your dad then, right? That's what Finnegan Hood hinted at anyway. He caught me, it was gonna kill me, but decided not to. I mean, he does have, well, that's another spoiler, but yeah. What was it? I don't think he never attacked a kid anyway. Not from we know. Always adults. Well, I'm pretty sure at some point he must have been contacted, kill a kid then, right? Maybe so. Very dark, but yes, we do. You probably would at some point. There's someone out there who wants a kid dead that badly. Yeah. He made me help in exchange for my life. It was exhilarating and terrifying and exhilarating. Mr. Hood found out. He had to be silenced. But I failed. Mr. Hood agreed to help me form an alibi. I knew it was the killer, so he left his car at the scene. Later, he gave me the knife. He killed the Porter woman. He said to hide it, but before I could find a better spot, the other girl found it. Before I could find a better spot, the other girl found it. I was arrested on the spot.
Objection.
You're definitely gonna say that it's definitely not Shelley the killer here. Yeah. Your Honor, the witness is either lying or delusional. As discussed previously, the man in question could not be the culprit. Therefore, we know from the get-go that our very premise is wrong. It's impossible for Shelley the killer to have given her anything. But she could have gotten it from the mail. Hold on a moment. If you don't mind, I'd like to test a theory of mine I've been having. Yes, go ahead. I believe she did see the man who killed Mr. Black and Miss Porter. Now, it wasn't a killer, but I have a feeling once we find out who it was, we'll have our mastermind. Are you saying that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern crimes had separate killers? That would be the result of your logic. No, I'm saying just the opposite. The prosecution's been on the wrong track this whole time. Yes, finally, stick it to the man, Phoenix. Stick it to the man. The defendant never killed anybody. Then who was it? I can't say. So for now, why don't we just call him Shelley the killer? Even though it wasn't? For portmanteau, labeling and logic sense, guy X, guy T, guy AST, all that. I'm a LAST, the last one, Jane seems to think it was. Whatever that means, I'm sure it has a profound implication for our case. So I see, it definitely was another ice cream man. The killer to connection. A month back, I saw the killer burying a man. With a shovel or a spoon? This would have been Guildenstern. Would you recognize the killer if you saw him? Obviously I would, that's what happened. Do you know who it was? It isn't necessarily told me his name. How moronic would that be? Oh my gosh, she can recognize immediately? That means we can just go into the profiles and present every single one and just right here in court and just, you would know immediately who it is. Oh my gosh, this is overpowered. Overpowered. Besides that, he kept his face covered the whole while. I told you I guessed he was Shelley the killer, but I guess that's not good enough for you. But it wasn't anybody you recognized at the time. No, I did not recognize him. He was not anybody I recognized. Maybe that's something to go on. Jane seems to be telling the truth this time, so I should be able to learn something. Yeah, she's not doing a demonic thing. Because every time she was lying, she always went to that form, actually. That's honestly kind of a cool detail, so, but I doubt it. It's mostly just personality, she's not lying, actually. So, yeah. mean actor, actress, not amateur. Not amateur actor. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. If you have an immediate tell like that, that's not gonna work at all. He caught me and was going to kill me, but decided not to. Why didn't he? Simple. I convinced him I was worth more alive. 2 pennies? No, 2 nickels. Doesn't sound so simple to me. As if you know what people want. You've seen me, so you know I can convince people well. That's honestly quite a good skill. I saw that he wasn't from the area, and I would need somebody in the inside. Killing me would result in Mr. Hood reporting it. Now that would just create unwanted attention. The killer wouldn't want attention, he would want it all kept secret. All true, but you were a murder witness. Yes, wasn't I? He should have killed me right there. It would have been the smarter choice, in my opinion. How fortunate. What did you promise him? He made me help in exchange for my life. It was exhilarating, and terrifying, and exhilarating. Oh my god, I love her characterization. How did you convince him to let you live? I told him I helped cover for the crime, which I had every intention of doing. You had no qualms about helping a killer? Mr. Wright, place yourself in my position. Look at it from my view. Honestly, yeah. Doing anything else would have been idiocy. Yeah, it's either am I help with a crime or literally die. I don't blame her in the slightest here. I was certain I would die if I did not cooperate. This was the only way to protect myself. Having qualms doesn't mean you need to be stupid. That man could have come back at any time and decided you weren't useful anymore, though. I know. I realized that immediately. Almost right away. And that's why I had to figure out a way to get away from him. But I couldn't trust anyone. Mr. Hood found out. He had to be silenced. When did he figure it out? Mr. Hood always realized something was up. He knew right away. But he didn't confront me until just the other night. You referred to Mr. Jameson's murder. He literally just kept it up for a month, just conveniently let the next murder happen, okay, this has to stop, Jane. You gotta tell me what happened. Honestly, great instinct to make the alibi thing happen there. Yes, we noticed the people screaming and chasing each other outside. Mr. Hood made that connection and demanded to know what I was hiding. I couldn't trust him with that kind of secret, so I did the only thing that made sense. I tried to hit him with that bottle and escape. But he's your father. He's not my father. I won't trust Mr. Hood any more than I will you or anybody else in life. He could have betrayed me and told the police. Besides, what if the killer found out I told? I might die. Or Mr. Hood might die. You tied that on, actually. All you do carrying your own way. The secret should have remained my burden. My own. Well, I'd say that, but you also, would want to keep Mr. Hood alive just so you have a roof over your head and you can leech money off. If we're going to go look the more cynical route, which I can definitely see you're going to say. No matter what, you're always going to lie about that. Which I'm, good on you. How horrible would it be to live thinking you can't trust anyone? She was raised to think this way. She might never grow out of it. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna have a whole thing of, people, constantly telling you, betraying you in some way, shape, or form, I'm pretty sure we're to grow that way. Even if, definitely in her case, it's more of, her dad just, telling her, don't trust anyone, not even me. But then, by that same logic, you shouldn't trust what that man says because he might be trying to dissuade you and get him onto your own agenda by saying you shouldn't trust anyone. Oh my god, this is a dastardly plan indeed he had going for so many years, for decades even. But I failed. Mr. Hood agreed to help me form an alibi. He genuinely believed you'd done it? I only told him so much. That was not much at all. He was more used to me thinking I'd done it. More helpful. More active. That's pretty cold. Thank you. I don't see why I should care what he felt, so long as it came out on top in the end. Oh boy, do you get honor roll for class? If you don't, then you must have a bigger plan for that then, huh? Feelings are momentary. They don't last long. But my life, my freedom, those aren't momentary. Not at all. And Mr. Hood knows this, so I'm sure he doesn't mind. Why did you suddenly decide you could trust him? Actually nothing about it. The way you're phrasing it, you actually do care about him. At the same time, you're definitely using the same, you're literally using this tactics against him as well, so it's almost a weird twisted form of love either way. Or literally just the love you kind of wants. Honestly, that's kind of great. Self-serving.
I didn't. I didn't have much choice. I could tell he was on my side, at least for the time being. That's how we formed our plan. I knew it was the killer, so he left his card at the scene.
But didn't you say, like, he covered his face the first murder? How did you know it was the killer?
I saw him a long time ago, when I was just a child.
You saw Michelle the killer?
It was only shortly, but the moment burned in my memory. I remember death, silence. He killed someone, but I didn't know who at the time.
How can you remember a face you'd only seen once before, so long ago?
I don't remember the face, but everything else about the killer is clear to me. That is why I knew it was him.
Jane didn't say the real the killer last month. She saw another man who killed Mr. Black. But what would make her think it was Shadow the killer then? We're gonna go by that logic then. Her brain must have associated the murder with her father's. She might not even have put a name to it until Mr. Hood confronted her.
Later, he gave me the knife. He killed the porter woman.
This was the same man whom you saw before?
That is correct. The same person who's bearing black also gave me the knife.
Of course, the killer whom you know does not even exist.
Look at you. You think you're so smart, but you're utterly missing the point.
And what would that be?
Doesn't matter if it was actually the killer or not, does it? I'm honestly embarrassed that I prosecuted your expertise and experience does not realize the implications. Am I not correct, Mr. Wright?
I wouldn't put it so rudely, but she's right. Yes, finally. Carry on. What did you do with the knife?
He said to hide it, but before I could find a better spot, the girl found it.
But you meant for her to find it.
I'm always watching for opportunities. When I saw Trucy searching the place, I knew it would be better to point her the right way. If she already found the card and the knife, I would instantly become a suspect. Which I already was, by the way, if you'll recall. But you didn't have to scare me. I need to set off warning bells for Mr. Wright. If you'd merely found the evidence, you might actually think I did it. But upping the ante in the stakes, I may even question his conceptions of the case. This way, it actively worked to find me innocent. This way was much better. Just messing with the meta of the universe and also other people. Nice, true manipulation tactics. Honestly, yeah, it's honestly great. Huh. It makes sense in a really weird and twisted way. Exactly. I, for one, am glad I don't have to share a mind with her. I mean, at some point, like, crime investigators and all that have to think in the minds of a serial killer. Or at least figure out exactly their twisted ways and figure things out. So why not a person who's clinically insane? Like me. I was resting the spot. Oh, I forgot to press that. Jane says like she's telling the truth. She isn't leaving anything out. The issue is that it conflicts with what we know. You mean how the killer was never really there? Right. Well, maybe that means something then. Keep pressing her, maybe you'll figure it out. Maybe there's something to point back to the rest of the case. How so that? Okay, last one. Give me a knife, he said to hide it. I was arrested on the spot. I didn't notice anything to connect back to. This is all just to get my attention? The whole goal was to make people realize the killer was the culprit. The rest, my confrontation with Trucy, it was all part of the plan. Hey Jane, how's the head? I'm not sure to understand. What is it that you mean? Your head, don't you remember? You wouldn't have planned on that. What are you talking about? I didn't recall anything about my head. You really don't remember it? Nothing at all? Either she doesn't completely, or she's trying to keep her own pride in check. Wow, I must be stronger than I realize. What are you two talking about? Oh, nothing. Just a little something Mr. Waters and I left out of the police report. Now I'm worried. Jane sounds like she's telling the truth. Yeah, all that. What's the connects back? I saw a Shadow killer burying a man. He caught me, was gonna kill me, decided not to. You mean how much changed my life? It was exhilarating and terrifying and exhilarating. Found out how to be silenced. I failed. Mr. Hood agreed to help me form an alibi. I knew he was a killer, so he left this car at the scene. Later gave me the knife. He killed the porter woman. to hide it, but before I could find a better spot, the girl found it. As the rest of the spot. All those, like, from the sound that we definitely have to present something to, like, I guess, connect back to the case, but this is a situation where it's not sort of find a contradiction, we need to present something that links back to something else, which, honestly, at this point, yeah, there's a lot of things to connect back, but I don't know exactly what you want from me. I don't know what you want from me, Game. You've always been obtuse at this point, way more than the other fan games at this point, so I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, okay, that's a bit obtuse, actually. A month back, I saw a show the killer burying a man. So, like, you basically can identify the person at face, but we're not, like, contradicting anything. We're just gonna prove that it was definitely not... Where is it? It was not, like, him? It's not Yossarian. The same person murdered Mr. Black and Miss Porter. Jane saw him, remembered him, and then received the knife. But throughout all of that, she never found out his name. Would you expect him to freely tell it to her? No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be smart at all. That'd be stupid. That's right. And he kept his face covered so I couldn't see it. Oh yeah, that was that part. The important thing was she knew it was the same person both times, and Jane said she could recognize them if we showed anything to her. And we're just gonna show the defendant to prove that it's not him. That's more valuable to us than any name. One thing she said was she didn't recognize him. Jane, could you do something for me? Answer me just one question. What is it? This man sitting over here in the defendant's chair. Do you know him? Of course I do. He lives next door to me. What is his name? Francisco Mendez. Oh, you like the screenshot of it. You actually were afraid there, I'm assuming then. One more question. Just one more. Witness? Where has Mr. Mendez been for the past 4 days? In jail. Are you fucking stupid, Abadia? I thought we already came to this conclusion a while ago. Porter and Black had the same killer. Black and Jameson had the same killer. All 3 people were murdered by the same person. My client couldn't have killed any of them. God damn it, Obadia. Oh my, that's right. It was the same person for all 3. Jane saw somebody she thought was the killer. Maybe it's because of her trauma of, like, her dad being dead from that point, and then, like, going to not trust anyone. Then she just put a name to both the killer to hear then. Honestly, maybe her dad actually was, like, from the Mafia then. Oh, wow. Well, that's sad. Now we know that it wasn't, but there's still the question of who it really was. We know now that it wasn't my client. Then who? Jane, her father, planted the card to try to police from her. Literally, since she can, like, point at anyone, we can look through any one of this list. Or literally just, hey, police, you know whoever one's involved in the Valley's case, like, you know, Mafia, right? Just pull up their pictures and profiles, and just slowly rifle through for her to find. We'll just do that the old-fashioned way. Jane and her father planted the card to try to police from her. Was also point them in the direction of the man they thought had done it. They really worked one over on us. It was just to protect ourselves, nothing more. I don't want to live in the shadow of some mass murderer, or be in his debt. And what about the police? You should have reported the truth. Why should I trust them? Any one person could have been working with the killer. Honestly, like, I don't blame you for that either. Because, like, if, it definitely has to be someone from the Rivales family, because it makes sense thematic-wise. And if you tell the police, who we literally just, like, found out in, like, technically the second case with Sir Galactic case files, and the police have been working with, you know, Rivales, and who's to say there wasn't anyone working in the police force, like, operating as, like, you know, a false double agent. I mean, literally, FBI agent Nathan Togamera was definitely one, so I don't blame you in the slightest, Jane. I can't know your true motives until I judge them for myself. A fool trusts people she doesn't know. I am not a fool. Was Mr. Hood in on this whole the whole time? Mr. Hood has trained me to be like him, independent, untrusting. But he loves me. He knows me well enough to guess my plans. He's been looking for a way to corner the killer and keep away from us for good. So you can trust him in that anyway. I imagine he picked up right away and played along when you spoke yesterday after my arrest. I didn't know what to make of it.
did, but how did you know that? Because you're just so predictable and precious. Phoenix always did out of quality in the first 3 games anyway, so yeah. That's all quite interesting. Yet we shouldn't hold you any longer. I believe we can place you in police protection until this is resolved. The offer is nice, but I'll look out for myself. If that's what you want? What will you do from here? Me? I'm going to kill a whole bunch of people. After all this, I don't believe you for a second. I knew you'd say that. Okay, bye. We're literally not gonna ask her, like, more questions about who it could possibly be? Okay, then. Alright, then. We had a perfect way to figure out who it could have been, but okay, she just walked to the door. She just walked to the door. Alrighty. Didn't, like, people say this also a close trial as well? Well, I wouldn't imagine it, but that girl just cleared the defendant. The girl just cleared the defendant. You could possibly have stabbed Miss Porter, and if her killer also killed Mr. Black. Well, I just can't think of who it might be. Are you gonna pull a thing and, like, discredit her entirely and just say, no, it was definitely him, definitely all this, even though you basically say you have no proof, it was definitely him who could have killed Porter? Are you definitely gonna go that way? Are you seriously gonna go the way, Badia? Are you doing this way? I'm pressuring you. Say something, say something, say something. One's case must always adapt to changing circumstances. Oh my god, you're definitely gonna do that, aren't you? Say it, just say it, just say it, just say it, just say it. As new information comes to light, the truth is slowly revealed. It's clear to me that Miss Hood's the killer is the defendant. So, is that it? No! Yeah, we have to figure out who it is. It's all part of the Phoenix Wright Fair. The suspect killed neither Miss Porter nor Black. I can see that now. I still believe he murdered Mr. Jameson. Are you fucking serious? That's not possible. You know Jimmy and Mr. Black are the same killer. Do we? Do we really? But until now, we've come to that conclusion merely from the fact that they were buried together. The idea relied on supposition and conclusive testimony, but nothing substantial. Ergo, it's entirely possible there were separate killers. You're gonna change your stance this late. We've been this sure of it from the very beginning. You leave me no choice. If you won't give me 2 counts of murder, I will settle for 1. Wow. Wow, okay. But Francisco Medeiros will not, cannot, be found innocent. I will not give up on that verdict. Oh boy. The Great Bear. Wait, what? The killer whom Miss Hood met was one of Medeiros' henchmen. I can buy in that. Mr. Black was killed as a hit job, on orders from his boss. Miss Porter was likewise assassinated in order to keep her silent. When Stephen Jameson was murdered by Medeiros himself. And what's your proof or quote-unquote supposition for that then, huh? However, the shovel and the location of the body proved we knew about Mr. Black. As mastermind, all the deaths are still on his head. Huh. Wowie. You think it was one of his henchmen? And why not? The defendant has the perfect motive for all 3 murders. Why should he bother getting his hands dirty? User value's Dawn, and yours... Wait, hold on a second. Why should he bother get his hands dirty, even though he still did by your own logic? What? What are your... No. You be fucking consistent about it. Like, be actually goddamn consistent. Even when I'm inconsistent, I'm consistent about my inconsistency. That's one thing. But you, no sir, no. In this henchman, who do you think it was? Maybe we'll find that out, maybe we won't. My case is against the suspect. I have 2 charges of murder to bring against him. As long as we have 1, he goes away. The murder of Mr. Jameson is quite clearly his doing. Everything else is explained by a thug carrying out the rest of his dirty work. We already have his fingerprints on the shovel and a myriad of more to tie him to the crimes. And honestly, thinking about it more, the shovel could also be from whoever killed Porter then, because he would not have... Whoever this he person was, they would not have fingerprints on the shovel and instead then. It was him! Oh hi, he came back to the stand. Dangnabbit, you don't know when to let it go. Nor will I ever. Not to how you mutilate that man like an animal. Okay, so it's definitely because of that. Okay, I can buy that now, okay. I will not stop until I see you get the justice you deserve. Prosecutor, you're going too far. Step back for a moment and look at how biased you're being. He's the murderer. He has to be. Like the last time I remember seeing someone get this biased, it was supposed to be a character who's supposed to be your best friend. The very second it happened, I just did not like them. In fact, the more like I started noticing, like, I remember going through that one game entirely and just accepting them, but like I wasn't exactly a fan of them. They were just fine, just mostly helping the main character get through some depression and trauma. And then just going through the game again, actually getting to the climax of their character arc, it was so clear that it was definitely some bias. Oh my god. Even to a detrimental point. It was definitely a character flaw from the very beginning. It was presented at the very beginning, even before it became quote-unquote more important. It was definitely that. That's some good writing, by the way. He's a great character. I personally just don't like him. Ugh. Oh wow. He's the murderer. He has to be. I've looked the facts up and down. I can't see any other possibility. You will find a possibility, if it exists. Now wait for me to give the rebuttal before we decide then. Yes, you're right. If you find fault, then do it. Either way, I want a conclusion. Well, there's enough arguing. We must hear the defense's rebuttal. Mr. Wright, I believe you may now address the prosecution's statement. Now, without further ado... What? Oh, hi. Hold up. There's been a development. I need to talk to the defense. Something's come up. Detective, you've interrupted us. Is it important? Okay, I was ready to get into that and actually almost actually close it off there, but okay. Can you not tell it to the court? No. What I have is between me and him. I don't trust that other dark blue suit guy over there with the beard. Yes, it's a private matter, and yes, it's relevant. It's important that we talk about it right now. It's so urgent you can just tell us now. I just have to finish this case. Yeah? Well, I can wait for 5 minutes. Chill, alright? Your Honor, Mr. Wright, and I'll just slip into the lobby for one. We'll be back before you know it. You seem nervous? If it's about the case, then yes, we will go into recess. We'll be back in here as soon as possible. What's wrong with Waters? He's at the trial just to talk to me? It must be serious. I'm worried what it might be. That'd be a good place to leave us off here for now. Oh boy. We're going to the lobby, and we're going to hear what Mr. Waters has to say. Like, that truly does mean that his character arc at all this time, he trusts again. He's telling us only personally, not Abadia. Everything that happened in the case of Sir Galante case is now all truly water under the bridge. And we'll see what Waters has to tell to us for next time. So, for fun time watches, I am playing as. Hope you see me next time. What time may be. And I hope a fantastic day.